samsaradava Tranaya karuna gana ganatvam Praptasya kalyana gunanavasya Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Mahaprabhu ki Tana Nitya Gita Vaditra Madhyan Manasorasena Romanchakampa Sutarangavajo Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Shri Vigrahara Dana Nityanana Shingarathan Mandiramarjanado Yuktasya Bhaktam Staniyunjatopi Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Chaturvida Shri Bhagavad Prasada Swadana Triptan Haribaksha Sangan Kritraiva Triptim Bhajata Sadaiva Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Shri Radhika Madhava Yudhapara Madhurya Leela Gunarupanamna Pratikshanaasvadanalolupasya Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda Nikunjayo no Rati Kheli Siddhai Ya Yali Vir Yukti Rapekshaniya Tatrati Daksha Rati Vallabhasya Vande Guru Shri Charanaravinda साक्षादरित्वेन समस्तशास्त्रे उक्तस्तथा भाव्यत एव साध्वी किन्तु प्रभोर्या प्रिय एव तस्य वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दम् यस्य प्रसाद भगवत्प्रसादो यस्य प्रसाद न गति कुतोऽपि जायं स्तुवां स्तसा यसा श्रीसाद्यं वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दम् वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दम् वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दम् नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशधारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद चैतन्य नित्यानंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद चैतन्य नित्यानंद जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद Nityananda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Hare Hare, Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Hare Hare, Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Nila Madhava, Radha Nila Madhava, Shri Jaya Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva, Gurudeva, Jaya Gurudeva. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Jai Om Vishnu Pada Paramahamsa Parataka Acharya Shtota Shata Shishmatis Divine Grace Aparachana Vrinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai ISKCON BBTPI Founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnu Pada Paramahamsa Parataka Acharya Shtota Shata Shishmatis Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnavinda Ki Jai Nama Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Premi se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Dadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Kili Govardhan Ki Jai Shri Vrajabhumi Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Shri Navadvip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai Shri Prashuttama Chaitra Jagnapuri Dham Ki Jai Shri Ayodhya Dham Ki Jai Ganga Mai Ki Jai Yamuna Mai Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Tulasi Devi Ki Jai, Samavrita Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai, Harinama Sankirtana Ki Jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga, all glories to Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Namaste Narasimhaya, Praladaladaine, Hiranyakashi Purvakshaha, Shilatankanakalaye, Ito Narsingha Parato Narsingha, Yeto Yeto Yami Tato Narsingha, Bahir Narsingha Hridaye Narsingha, Narasingha Madhim Sharanam Prapadye, Tava Karakamalavaре Nagam Adbhuta Shringa Dalita Hiranyakashipu Tanubringa Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jaya Jagadisha Hare, Jai Jagadisha Hare, Jai Jagadisha Hare. नरसिंहदेव जय ओ नरसिंहदेव जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव नित्य गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल नित्य गौर हरि बोल नरसिम्हदेव भगवान की जय प्रहलाद महाराज की नमो नमः तुलसी कृष्ण प्रियसी नमो नमः राधा कृष्ण सेवा पाबो यही अभिलाषी राधा कृष्ण सेवा पाबो यही अभिलाषी ये तुम्हारे शरण लोय तारा वंश पूर्ण होय कृपा कोरी करो तारे वृंदावन वासी मोराये अभिलाष विलास कुंज दियो वास नयने हेरी बोसदा युगल रूपरासी नमो नमः तुलसी कृष्ण प्रियासी नमो नमः ये निवेदन धरो सखीरनुगत करो सेवाधिकार दिए करो निज दासी दीन कृष्ण दासे को ये न मोरा होय श्री राधा गोविंद प्रेमे सदा न भासी श्री राधा गोविंद प्रेमे सदा न भासी यानि कानि च पापानि ब्रह्महत्यादिकानि च तानि तानि प्राणशन्ति प्रदक्षिणा पदे पदे कानि च पापानि प्रमाद्यधिकानि च तानि तानि प्राणशन्ति प्रदक्षिणा पदे पदे यानि कानि च पापानि ब्रह्माद्यादिकानि च तानि तानि प्रणश्यन्ति प्रदक्षिणा पदे पदे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Rama Hare Hare Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. वृंदे देवी तुलसी देवी महारानी की जय। वृंदायै तुलसी देवायै प्रियायै केशवश च विष्णु भक्ति प्रदे देवी सत्यवताय नमो नमः। वृंदायै तुलसी देवायै प्रियायै केशवश च विष्णु भक्ति प्रदे देवी सत्यवताय नमो नमः। वृंदायै तुलसी देवायै प्रियायै केशवश च कृष्ण भक्ति प्रदे देवी सत्यवताय नमो नमः। वृंदे देवी तुलसी देवी महारानी की जय।
Shiva and Dhavanatam. Thus within my vision shall behold the beautiful paths of Radha and Krishna. I beg you to make me follow a Karho Danso's Virgin. Please give me the privilege of devotional service and make me your own maid servant. This very fallen lowly servant of Krishna prays. May I always swim in the love of Shri Radha and Govinda. Srimati Tulsi Maharani ki jai. There are 10 fences in the matter chanting holy names that should be avoided, and they are as follows. 1. To blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated life for propagating the holy name of the Lord. 2. To consider name the demigods of Lord Shiva or Brahma to be equal to independent name Lord Vishnu. 3. To disobey the orders of spiritual master. 4. To blaspheme Vedic literature pursuant to Vedic version. 5. To consider glorious chanting Hare Krishna to be imagination. 6. To give some interpretation to the holy name of the Lord. 7. To commit sinful activities on the strength of chanting the holy name. 8. To consider chanting Hare Krishna one of the auspicious ritualistic activities, offering in Vedas the fruitive activities, karma, ganda. 9. To instruct a faithless person about glorious holy name. 10. To not complete faith in the chanting holy names, and to maintain material attachments in understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to Vaishnava must carefully guard against these 10 offenses. In order to quickly achieve desired success, Krishna Prema. Now let us for our most humble obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. They are just as trees who can fulfill to everyone, and they full of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. Shri Chaitanya Shikshastakam ki jai. Cheto Darpana Marjanam Pavamahadavakni Nirvapanam Shriya Kairava Chantrika Vitaranam Vidyavatu Jivanam Anandam Buddhivardhanam Pratipadam Purnamita Swadanam Sarvatamasnapanam Paravijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Magadi Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatra pita niyamita smaranena kalaha etatishi tava kripa bhagavam mamapi turudevami desham iha janina nurakaha trinatapi sanijena tarorapi saishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sada harihi na dhanam na janam na sundarim kavitam va jagadisha kamaye Mama Jammani Jammanishvare Bhavata Bhaktir Haituki Tavai Ayinanda tanuja kinkaram patitam mam vishame bhavam puto Kripaya tava pada pankaja sthita duri satisham vichintaya Nayanam galadashurudaraya vatanam kadgata rudaya kira Pulakani chitam vapu kada tava nama krahane bhavishati Yuga itam nimishena chaktusha pravisha itam Shunya itam jagat sarvam govinda vidahe name Ashirishava padratam pinnashtumam Atarshanam marmahatam karotuva Yatha tatha va vidathatu lampato matprana nathastu sa eva na paraha Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Chaitanya Shikshastakam ki jai. Glory to Shri Krishna Sankirtana, which cleans the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes fire of conditional life for repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction of humanity at large because it expresses the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and enables us to fully taste the nectar for which always anxious. O my Lord, your holy name alone grants all benediction of human beings. Thus we have hundreds of millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, they have vested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, all the kindness enables us to easily approach you by holy name. But I am so unfortunate and have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in humble state of mind, thinking himself lower than the strolling street. One should be more taller than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and shall be ready to offer all respect to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to commit wealth, nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. O Son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am an eternal servitor. Yet somehow I fall in the ocean of birth and death. Please pick him up out of the ocean of death and place me at one Adam to our lotus feet. O my Lord, while my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant the holy name, while my voice choke up, while hairs my body stand and recitation of your name. O Govinda, feeling of separation and constant moment to be like a great millennium. Tears are flowing from eyes like torrents of rain, and I'm feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and shall remain so if he handles me roughly by his embrace, or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipable Lord, unconditionally. Shri Chaitanya Shikshastakam ki jai. Shri Mangala Charanam prayers ki jai. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshum Litam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manopishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Soyam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uta Padakamalam Shri Gurung Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragnatang Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakham Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pachadyate Shatarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Iti Namine Shri Varshabhani Videvi Daitaya Kripaptaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Daine Prabhavin Namaha Madhuryo Jala Premadya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktita Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostate Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Virudapa Siddhanta Dvanta Harine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshat Vairagya Murtaye Vipralamba Rasambodhe Padam Pujayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachidananda Namane Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gaura Virbhava Bhumistvam Nirtishta Sajana Priyaha Vaishnava Savapamashi Jagannathaya Te Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Patayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratishin Namaha Pancha Tattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakham Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinapanto Jagapate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Jayatam Sratoro Pango Mama Mandar Mater Kati Masarvasva Padam Bojo Radha Madana Mohano Divya Vindadana Kalpadumada Shimadra Nagara Singhasanasto Shrimad Radha Shila Govinda Devo Prishtaribi Sevyamano Smarami Shriman Rasa Rasarambi Vamsiva Tata Stitaha Karasham Venu Suner Gopir Gopinatha Shriyestunaha Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Mangalachana prayers ki jai Shri Brahma Samhita ki jai Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradia Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam Chintamani Parakara Satmasuka Paviksha Lakshariteshu Surabhi Rabhipalayantam Lakshmi Sahasa Shatasam Brahmasevyamanam Govindam Madi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Venum Kvanantam Aravinda Dalaya Daksham Parharvatam Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam Gandharvagoti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Alola Chantakala Savanamare Vamshi Ranangadam Panayakeli Kalavilasam Shamam Tripanga Laditam Yata Prakasham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Angani Yasya Sakalendriya Vittimanti Pashanti Panti Kalayanti Chiram Jaganti Ananda Chimmaya Sadujala Vigrahasya Govindam Madi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Advaitam Achotam Anadi Mananta Rupam Adyam Purana Purusham Navayovanam Cha Vedeshu Durlabam Adurlabam Atma Bhakta Govindam Madi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Pantastu Koti Shatavassara Sampragamyo Vayuratapi Manaso Munipangavanam Sopiasti Yapapata Simya Vichinta Tatve Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Ekopya Sarda Chayitum Jagadanta Kotim Yachakti Rasti Jagadanta Chayaya Tantaha Antantarastha Paramanu Chayantarastham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Yad Bhava Pavita Diyo Manujasta Teva Samprapya Rupa Mahima Sanayana Pushaha Suktayam Eva Nikama Patitai Stuvanti Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Ananda Chimmay Rasa Patipavitapis Tapiya Evan Jarupa Tayakalapihi Go Loka Eva Nivasati Kilatama Puto Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Premanjana Churuta Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sateva Hidayeshu Vilokayanti Yam Shama Sundam Achintya Guna Swarupam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Pajami Ramadi Murtishu Kalanyam Hina Tishtan Nanavatarama Karo Bhuvaneshu Kintu Krishna Swayam Samapava Parama Pumam Yo Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Krishna, who is not Govinda, the Supreme Godhead, has an eternal blissful spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin and the prime cause of all causes.
I worship Govinda, the primeval lord, the first progenitor who is tending the cows, yielding all desire in abodes built with spiritual gems, surrounded by millions of purpose trees, always served with great reverence and affection by hundreds of thousands of Lakshmis or Gopis.
I worship Govinda, the primeval lord, who is adept in playing his flute, with blooming eyes like lotus petals, with head decked with peacock's feather, with a figure beauty tinged with the hue of blue clouds, and the unique loveliness charming millions of cupids. I worship Govinda, the primeval lord, around whose neck is swinging a garland of flowers beautified by the moon locket, whose two hands are adorned with the flute and jeweled ornaments, who always revels in the pastimes of love, whose graceful threefold bending form to Sham Sundar is eternally manifest.
Substantiality and is thus full of the most dazzling splendor. Each of the limbs of that transcendental figure possesses in himself the full flesh functions of all the organs and eternally sees, maintains, and manifests the infinite universes, both spiritual and mundane.
I worship Govinda, the primeval lord, who is inaccessible to the Vedas but obtainable by pure and unalloyed devotion of the soul, who is without a second, who is not subject to decay, he is without a beginning, whose form is endless, who is the beginning and the eternal Purusha. Yet he is a person possessing the beauty of blooming youth.
I worship Govinda, the primeval lord, only the tip of the toe of whose lotus feet is approached by the yogis who aspire after the transcendental and betake themselves to pranayama by drilling the respiration, or by the jnanis who try to find out the non-differentiated Brahman by the process of elimination of the mundane, extending over thousands of millions of years.
He is an undifferentiated entity as there is no distinction between potency and the possessor thereof. In his work of creation of millions of worlds, his potency remains inseparable. All the universes exist in him and he is present in his fullness in every one of the atoms that are scattered throughout the universe at one and the same time. Such is the primeval Lord whom I adore.
I adore the same Govinda, the primeval Lord, in whose praise men who are imbued with devotion sing the mantra suktas told by the Vedas, by gaining their appropriate beauty, greatness, thrones, conveyances, and ornaments.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, residing in his own realm, Goloka, with Radha, resembling his own spiritual figure. The embodiment of the ecstatic potency possessed of the 64 artistic activities in the company of her confidant Sakis, embodiments of the extensions of her bodily form, permeated and vitalized by his ever blissful spiritual rasa.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who is a Syam Sundara, Krishna himself with inconceivable, innumerable attributes, whom the pure devotees see in their heart of hearts with the eye of devotion, ringed with the salve of love.
I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who manifested himself personally as Krishna and the different avatars in the world in the forms of Rama, Nrisimha, Vamana, etc. as his subjective portions. Sri Brahma Samhita ki jai. Bhagavad Gita 7.1 purport. Shrinvatam swakata Krishna punya sravana kirtanaha hridayanta hi stohi abhadrani vidinoti suhritsatam nasta prayesva abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama sloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki tada rajastamo bhava kama lobha dayaschaye चेत एतेर अनावीदम सितम सत्वे प्रसीदति एवं प्रसन्न मनसो भगवद्भक्ति योगतः भगवत्तत्व विज्ञानम मुक्त संगस्य जायते विद्यते हृदय ग्रंथेश्चिद्यन्ते सर्व संशयाः क्षीयन्ते च कर्माणि दृष्टा एव आत्मनीश्वरे.
To hear about the Krishna from Vedic literatures or to hear from him directly through the Bhagavad Gita is itself serious activity, and for hears about Krishna, Lord Krishna, who is dwelling in everyone's heart, acts as a best wishing friend and purifies the devotee who constantly engages in hearing of him. In this way, a devotee naturally develops his dormant transcendental knowledge. As he hears more about Krishna from the Bhagavatam and from the devotees, he becomes fixed in the devotional service of the Lord. By development of devotional service, one becomes freed from the modes of passion and ignorance, and thus material lust and avarice are diminished. When these impurities are swept away, the candidate remains steady in his position of pure goodness, becomes enlivened by devotional service, and understands the science of God perfectly. Thus, Bhakti Yoga severs the hard knot of material affection and enables one to come at once to the stage of Ashamsham Samagram, understanding of the supreme absolute truth personality of Godhead. Therefore, only by hearing from Krishna or from his devotee in Krishna consciousness can one understand the science of Krishna.
Hare Krishna. We'll continue reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 17, Text 31. Rajovacha nate gudakesha yasodharanam bhadanjalir vaibhayam asti kinchit navartitavyam bhavata katanchana kshetre madiye tvam adharma bandhu. Raja Uvacha. The king said, not they, your Gudakesha Arjuna, Yasha Dharanam of us who inherited the fame, Baddha Anjale, one with folded hands. Why? Certainly. Bhayam, fear, asti, there is, kinchit, even a slight, neither, vartitavyam, can be allowed to live, bhavatha, by you, katanchana, by all means, kshetri, in the land, madiye, in my kingdom, tvam, you, adharma bandhu, the friend of irreligion. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The king thus said, we have inherited the fame of Arjuna. Therefore, since you have surrendered yourself with folded hands, you need not fear for your life, but you cannot remain in my kingdom, for you are the friend of irreligion. Purport. The personality of Kali, who is the friend of all kinds of religiosities, may be excused if he surrenders, but in all circumstances he cannot be allowed to live as a citizen in any part of a welfare state. The Pandavas were entrusted representatives of the personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, who practically brought into being the battle of Kurukshetra, but not for any personal interest. He wanted an ideal king like Maharaja Yudhishthira and his descendants like Maharaja Parikshit to rule the world. And therefore, a responsible king like Maharaja Parikshit could not allow the friend of religiosity to flourish in his kingdom at the cost of the good fame of the Pandavas. That is the way of wiping out corruption in the state, and not otherwise. The friends of religiosity should be banished from the state, and that will save the state from corruption.
Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 17 chapter, 32 text. त्वाम वर्तमानं नरदेव देहे स्वनुप्रवृत्तोऽयं धर्मपोगाः लोभो न तं चौर्यमानाय महो ज्येष्ठा च माया कलहश्च दम्भः. Synonyms. Tvam, you. Vartamanam, while present. Naradeva, a man, god or a king. Dehesu, in the body. Anupravartaha, taking place everywhere. I am all these. Adharma, irreligious principles. Pugaha, in the masses. Lobha, greed. Anratam, falsity. Chauryam, robbery. Anaryam, incivility. Amha, treachery. Jestha, misfortune. Cha, and Maya, cheating. Kalaha, quarrel. Cha, and Dambha, vanity. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. If the personality of Kali, a religion, is allowed to act as a man god or an executive head, certain irreligious principles like greed, falsehood, robbery, incivility, treachery, misfortune, cheating, quarrel, and vanity will abound. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. The principles of religion, namely austerity, clean lines, mercy, and truthfulness, as we have already discussed, may be followed by the follower of any faith. There is no need to turn from Hindu to Mohammedan to Christian or some other faith and thus become a renegade and not follow the principles of religion. The Bhagavatam religion urges following the principles of religion. The principles of religion are not the dogmas or regulative principles of a certain faith. Such regulative principles may be different in terms of the time and place concerned. One has to see whether the aims of religion have been achieved. Sticking to the dogmas and formulas without attaining the real principles is not good. A secular state may be impartial to any particular type of faith, but the state cannot be indifferent to the principles of religion as above mentioned. But in the age of Kali, the executive heads of state will be indifferent to such religious principles, and therefore, under their patronage, the opponents of religious principles such as greed, falsehood, cheating, and pilfery will naturally follow, and so there will be no meaning of propaganda crying to stop corruption in the state.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 17, Text 33. न वर्तितव्यं तद् अधर्मबन्धो धर्मेण सत्येन च वर्तितव्ये ब्रह्मवर्ते यत्र यजन्ति यज्ञैर्यज्ञेश्वरं यज्ञविधान विज्ञा न not vartitavyam deserve to remain tat therefore adharma irreligiosity bandho friend dharmena with religion satyena with truth cha also vartitavye being situated in brahma avarte place where sacrifice is performed yatra where ajanti duly perform Yajnai by sacrifices or devotional services. Yajna Ishwaram unto the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead. Yajna service. Vitana spreading. Vigna experts. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Therefore, O friend of irreligion, you do not deserve to remain in a place where experts perform sacrifices according to truth and religious principles for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Yajneshwara or the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the beneficiary of all kinds of sacrificial ceremonies. Such sacrificial ceremonies are prescribed differently in the scriptures for different ages. In other words, sacrifice means to accept the supremacy of the Lord and thereby perform acts by which the Lord may be satisfied in all respects. The atheists do not believe in the existence of God and they do not perform any sacrifice for the satisfaction of the Lord. Any place or country where the supremacy of the Lord is accepted and thus sacrifice is performed is called Brahmavarta. There are different countries in different parts of the world, and each and every country may have different types of sacrifice to please the Supreme Lord. But the central point in pleasing Him is ascertained in the Bhagavatam, and it is truthfulness. The basic principle of religion is truthfulness, and the ultimate goal of all religions is to satisfy the Lord. In this age of Kali, the greatest common formula of sacrifice is the Sankirtana Yajna. That is the opinion of the experts who know how to propagate the process of Yajna. Lord Chaitanya preached this method of Yajna, and it is understood from this verse that the sacrifice method of Sankirtana Yajna may be performed anywhere and everywhere in order to drive away the personality of Kali and save human society from falling prey to the influence of the age.
Canto 1, Chapter 17, Text 34. Yasmin haribha va nijyamana ityatma murtir jatam sham tanoti kaman moghanste jagmana mantra bhivayo rivase atma. Synonyms. Yasmin, in such sacrificial ceremonies, Hari, the Supreme Lord, Bhagwan, the personality of Godhead, Ijaya Manaha, being worshipped, Ijaya Atma, the soul of all worshipable deities, Murti, in the forms, Yajatam, those who worship, some welfare, Tanoti, spreads, Kaman, desires, Amoghan, inviolable, Sthira Jan Gamanam, of all the moving and non-moving, Antaha, within, Bahi, outside, Vayu, air, Eva, like, Isa, of all of them, Atma, spirit, soul. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. In all sacrificial ceremonies, although sometimes a demigod is worshipped, the Supreme Lord Personality of Godhead is worshipped because He is the super soul of everyone and exists both inside and outside like the air. Thus, it is He only who awards all welfare to the worshipper. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. It is even sometimes seen that demigods like Indra and Chandra are worshipped and offer sacrificial awards, and the rewards of all such sacrifices are awarded to the worshipper by the Supreme Lord. And it is the Lord only who can offer all welfare to the worshipper. The demigods, although worshipped, cannot do anything without the sanction of the Lord. because the Lord is the super soul of everyone, both moving and non moving. In Bhagavad Gita 9.223, the Lord Himself confirms this in the following shloka. ये पै अन्य देवता भक्ता ये जानते श्रद्धयान्वितः तेपि माम इवा कौन्तेय ये जानते अविधि पूर्वकम. Whatever a man may sacrifice to other gods, O son of Kunti, is really meant for me alone, but it is offered without true understanding. The fact is that the Supreme Lord is one without a second. There is no God other than the Lord Himself. Thus, the Supreme Lord is eternally transcendental to the material creation. But there are many who worship the demigods like the sun, the moon, and Indra, who are only material representatives of the Supreme Lord. These demigods are indirect qualitative representations of the Supreme Lord. A learned scholar or devotee, however, knows who is who. Therefore, he directly worships the Supreme Lord and is not diverted by the material qualitative representations. Those who are not so learned worship such qualitative material representations, but their worship is unceremonious because it is irregular.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 17, Text 35. Suta uvacha parikshitvaivam adistaha sakalir putahu tam yudyatasim ahedam dandapanim iyodyatam. Suta Vacha, Sri Suta Goswami said, Parikshita by Maharaj Parikshit, Evam thus Adhishta being ordered, Saha he, Kali he, the personality of Kali, Jata there was, Veputuhu trembling, Tam him, Udyata raised, Asim sword, Aha said, Idam thus, Dandapanim Emraja, the personality of death, Eva like, Udyatam almost ready. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sri Suta Goswami said, the personality of Kali, thus being ordered by Maharaja Parikshit, began to tremble in fear, seeing the king before him like Yamraja, ready to kill him. Kali spoke to the king as follows. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The king was ready to kill the personality of Kali at once as soon as he disobeyed his order. Otherwise, the king had no objection to allowing him to prolong his life. The personality of Kali also, after attempting to get rid of the punishment in various ways, decided that he must surrender unto him. And thus he began to tremble in fear of his life. The king or the executive head must be so strong as to stand before the personality of Kali, like the personality of death, Yamraja. The king's order must be obeyed, otherwise the culprit's life is in risk. That is the way to rule the personalities of Kali who create disturbance in the normal life of the state citizens.
Canto 1, Chapter 17, Text 36. Kali Ruvacha Yattaka Vatavasyami Sarvabhaumatavagya Lakshe Tattapi Tomate Shosharashanam. Synonyms. Kaliya Uvacha, the personality of Kali said, Yatra, anywhere, Qua, and everywhere, Va, either, Atha, thereof, Vasyami, I shall reside, Sarva Bhauma, O Lord, or Emperor of the earth, Tava, your, Agyanya, by the order, Lakshya, I see, Tatra, anywhere and everywhere, Api, also, Tvam, your majesty, Ata, taken over, Issue, arrows, Sharashanam, bows. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O your majesty, though I may live anywhere and everywhere, under your order I shall but see you with bow and arrows wherever I look. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The personality of Kali could see that Maharaja Parikshit was the emperor of all lands all over the world, and thus anywhere he might live, he would have to meet with the same mood of the king. The personality of Kali was meant for mischief, and Maharaja Parikshit was meant for subduing all kinds of mischief mongers, especially the personality of Kali. It was better, therefore, for the personality of Kali to have been killed by the king then and there instead of being killed elsewhere. He was, after all, a surrendered soul before the king, and it was for the king to do what was required.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 17, Text 37. Tan me dharma bhrutam shrestha sthanam nirdestum arhasi yatraiva niyato vatsya atistam ste nusasanam. Tad therefore may me dharma bhrutam of all the protectors of religion, shrestha, O chief, sthanam, place, nirdestam, fix, arhasi, may you do so, yatra, where, eva, certainly, niyata, always, vatsye, can reside, atistan, permanently situated, te, your, anushasanam, under your rule. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Therefore, O chief amongst the protectors of religion, please fix some place for me where I can live permanently under the protection of your government. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The personality of Kali addressed Maharaj Parikshit as the chief amongst the protectors of religiosity because the king refrained from killing a person who surrendered unto him. A surrendered soul should be given all protection even though he may be an enemy. That is the principle of religion, and we can just imagine what sort of protection is given by the personality of Godhead to the person who surrenders unto him, not as many not as an enemy, but as a devoted servitor. The Lord Protector protects the surrendered soul from all sins and all resultant reactions of sinful acts. Bhagavad Gita 18.66.
Canto 1, Chapter 17, Text 38. Sota uvacha abhyartistada tasmai sthana kalle dado द्यूतम पानम स्त्रिया सोना यत्ता धर्मश्चतुर्विधः. Synonyms. Sutta Uvacha. Sutta Goswami said, Abhyarthita, thus being petitioned, tada, at that time, tasmai, unto him, sthanani, places, kalaya, to the personality of Kali, dadau, gave him permission, dyutam, gambling, panaham, drinking, striyaha, illicit association with women, suna, animal slaughter, yatra, wherever, adharma, sinful activities, chatuhu vidha, four kinds of. Translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sutta Goswami said, Maharaja Parikshit, thus being petitioned by the personality of Kali, gave him permission to reside in places where gambling, drinking, prostitution, and animal slaughter were performed. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The basic principles of irreligiosity, such as pride, prostitution, intoxication, and falsehood, counteract the four principles of religion, namely austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness. The personality of Kali was given permission to live in four places particularly mentioned by the king, namely the place of gambling, the place of prostitution, the place of drinking, and the place of animal slaughter. Srila, Srila Jiva Goswami directs that drinking against the principles of scriptures, such as the Sotra Mani Yajna, association with women outside marriage, and killing animals against the injunctions of scriptures are irreligious. In the Vedas, two different types of injunctions are there for the pravartas, or those who are engaged in material enjoyment, and for the nivartas, or those who are liberated from material bondage. The Vedic injunction for the pravartas is to gradually regulate their activities towards the path of liberation. Therefore, for those who are in the lowest stage of ignorance and who indulge in wine, women, and flesh, drinking by performing Satramani Yajna, association of women by marriage, and flesh eating by sacrifices are sometimes recommended. Such recommendations in the Vedic literature are meant for a particular class of men and not for all. But because they are injections of the Vedas for particular types of persons, such activities by the Pravartas are not considered adharma. One man's food may be poison for others. Similarly, what is recommended for those in the mode of ignorance may be poison for those in the mode of goodness. Srila Jiva Goswami Prabhu therefore affirms that recommendations in the scriptures for a certain class of men are never to be considered adharma or irreligious, but such activities are factually adharma and they are never to be encouraged. The recommendations in the scriptures are not meant for the encouragement of such adharma, but for regulating the necessary adharma gradually towards the path of dharma. Following in the footsteps of Maharaja Parikshit, it is the duty of all executive heads of states to see that the principles of religion, namely austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness, are established in the state, and that the principles of irreligion, namely pride, illicit female association or prostitution, intoxication, and falsity, are checked by all means. And to take the best use of a bad bargain, the personality of Kali may be transferred to places of gambling, drinking, prostitution, and slaughterhouses. If there are any places like that, those who are addicted to these irreligious habits may be regulated by the injunctions of the scripture. In no circumstances should they be encouraged by any state. In other words, the state should categorically stop all sorts of gambling, drinking, prostitution, and falsity. The state which wants to eradicate corruption by majority may introduce the principles of religion in the following manner. First, 2 compulsory fasting days in a month, if not more austerity, even from the economic point of view. Such 2 fasting days in a month in the state will save tons of food, and the system will also act very favorably on the general health of citizens. Second, there must be compulsory marriage of young boys and girls attaining 24 years of age and 16 years of age respectively. There is no harm in co-education in the schools and colleges, provided the boys and girls are duly married, and in case there is any intimate connection between a male and female student, they should be married properly without illicit relation. The Divorce Act is encouraging prostitution, and this should be abolished. Third, the citizens of the state must give in charity up to 50% of their income for the purpose of creating a spiritual atmosphere in the state or in human society, both individually and collectively. They should preach the principles of Bhagavatam by A. Karma Yoga or doing everything for the satisfaction of the Lord. B. Regular hearing of the Srimad Bhagavatam from authorized persons or realized souls. C. Chanting of the glories of the Lord congregationally at home or at places of worship. D. Rendering all kinds of service to Bhagavatas engaged in preaching Srimad Bhagavatam. And E. Residing in a place where the atmosphere is saturated with God consciousness. If the state is regulated by the above process, naturally there will be God consciousness everywhere. Gambling of all description, even speculative business enterprise, is considered to be degrading, and when gambling is encouraged in the state, there is a complete disappearance of truthfulness. Allowing young boys and girls to remain unmarried more than the above mentioned ages, and licensing animal slaughterhouses of all descriptions should be at once prohibited. The flesh eaters may be allowed to take flesh as mentioned in the scriptures and not otherwise. Intoxication of all description, even smoking cigarettes, chewing tobacco, or the drinking of tea must be prohibited.
पुनश्च यस्य मानाय जदा रूपम् आदत् प्रभु तदोनर्थं मदनं कामं रजो वैरं च पञ्चमम्. Translation: The personality of Kali has synonyms Puna, again, Cha, also, Yajamananya, to the beggar, Jadarupam, gold, Adad, gave away, Prabhu, the king, Tada, whereby, Anardham, falsehood, Madam, intoxication, Kamam, lust, Rajad, on account of a passionate mood, Vairam, enmity, Cha, also, Panchamam, the fifth one. Translation: The personality of Kali asked for something more, and because of his begging, the king gave him permission to live where there is gold, because wherever there is gold, there is also falsity, intoxication, lust, envy, and enmity. Purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Although Maharaj Parikshit gave Kali permission to live in 4 places, it was very difficult for him to find the places, because during the reign of Maharaj Parikshit, there was no such places. Therefore, Kali asked the king to give him something practical which could be utilized for his nefarious purposes. Maharaj Parikshit thus gave him permission to live in a place where there is gold, because wherever there is gold, there are also above mentioned 4 things, and over and above them there is enmity also. So the personality of Kali became gold standardized. According to Srimad Bhagavatam, gold encourages falsities, intoxication, prostitution, envy, and enmity. Even a gold standard exchange and currency is bad. Gold standard currency is based on falsehood because the currency is not on a par with reserve gold. The basic principle is falsity because currency notes are issued in value beyond that of the actual reserved gold. The artificial inflation of currency by the authorities encourages prostitution of the state economy. The price of the commodities becomes artificially inflated because of bad money or artificial currency notes. Bad money drives away good money. Instead of paper currency, actual gold coins should be used for exchange, and this will stop prostitution of gold. Gold ornaments for women may be allowed by control, not by quality, but by quantity. This will discourage lust, envy, and enmity. When there is actual gold currency in the form of coins, the influence of gold in producing falsity, prostitution, etc. will automatically cease. There will be no need of an anti-corruption ministry for another term of prostitution and falsity of purpose.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 17, Text 40. Amuni pancha sthanani hi adharma prabhava kalihi autareyena dattani nyava satan nidestakrit. Amuni, all those, pancha, 5, sthanani, places, hai, certainly, adharma, irreligious principles, prabhava, encouraging, kalihi, the age of Kali, Uttarayena, by the son of Uttara, Dattani, delivered, Nyavasat, dwelt, Tat, by him, Nidesakrit, directed, translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Thus the personality of Kali, by the directions of Maharaja Parikshit, the son of Uttara, was allowed to live in those 5 places. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Thus the age of Kali began with the gold standardization, and therefore falsity, intoxication, animal slaughter, and prostitution are rampant all over the world. And the Saner section is eager to drive out corruption. The counteracting process is suggested above, and everyone can take advantage of this suggestion.
Canto 1, Chapter 17, Text 41. अथेतानि नास्तिर्बुभु सह पुरुषः क्वचित् विशेषतो धर्मशीलो राजा लोकपति गुरुः. Synonyms: Atha, therefore, etani, all these, na, never, sweta, come in contact, bubhusho, those who desire well-being, purushaha, person, kvachit, in any circumstances, visheshataha, specifically, Dharmasilaha, those who are on the progressive path of liberation. Raja, the king. Lokapati, public leader, Guru, the Brahmins and the sannyasis. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Therefore, whoever desires progressive well being, especially kings, religionists, public leaders, Brahmins, and sannyasis, should never come in contact with the four above mentioned irreligious principles. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The Brahmins are the religious preceptors for all other castes, and the sannyasis are the spiritual masters for all the castes and orders of society. So, also are the king and the public leaders who are responsible for the material welfare of all people. The progressive religionists and those who are responsible human beings or those who do not want to spoil their valuable human lives should refrain from all the principles of irreligiosity, especially illicit connection with women. If a Brahman is not truthful, all his claims as a Brahman at once become null and void. If a sannyasi is illicitly connected with women, all his claims as a sannyasi at once become false. Similarly, if the king and the public leader are unnecessarily proud or habituated to drinking and smoking, certainly they become disqualified to discharge public welfare activities. Truthfulness is the basic principle for all religions. The four leaders of the human society, namely the sannyasis, the Brahman, the king, and the public leader, must be tested crucially by their character and qualification. Before one can be accepted as a spiritual or material master of society, he must be tested by the above mentioned criteria of character. Such public leaders may be less qualified in academic qualification, but it is necessary primarily that they be free from the contamination of the four disqualifications, namely gambling, drinking, prostitution, and animal slaughter.
Canto 1, Chapter 17, verse 42. Vrashasya nastam strin padan taba sauchandayam idi pradisandada ashvasya mahimcha samavardayat. Synonyms: Vashasya, of the bull, the personality of religion; Nashtan, lost; Trin, 3; Padan, legs; Taba, austerity; Saucham, cleanliness; Dayam, mercy; Iti, thus; Pradisandadi, re-established; Ashvasya, by encouraging the activities; Mahim, the earth; Cha, and; Samavardhayat, perfectly improved. Translation by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Thereafter the king established the lost legs of the personality of religion, the bull, and by encouraging activities he sufficiently improved the condition of the earth. Purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. By designating particular places for the personality of Kali, Maharaj Parikshit practically cheated Kali. In the presence of Kali, Dharma in shape of bull and the earth in the shape of a cow, he could actually estimate the general condition of his kingdom, and therefore he at once took proper steps to re-establish the legs of the bull, namely austerity, cleanliness, and mercy. And for the general benefit of the people of the world, he saw that the gold stock might be employed for stabilization. Gold is certainly a generator of falsity, intoxication, prostitution, enmity, and violence. But under the guidance of a pauper, king, or public leader, or a brahmana or sannyasi, the same gold can be properly utilized to re-establish the lost legs of the bull, the personality of the religion. Maharaj Parikshit therefore, like his grandfather Arjuna, collected all illicit gold kept for propensities of Kali and employed it in Sankirtana Yajna as per instruction of Srimad Bhagavatam. As we have suggested before, once accumulated wealth may be divided into three parts for distribution, namely 50% for the service of the Lord, 25% for the family members, and 25% for personal necessities. Spending 50% for the service of the Lord or for propagation of spiritual knowledge in society by way of Sankirtana Yajna is the maximum display of human mercy. People of the world are generally in darkness regarding spiritual knowledge, especially in regard to devotional service of the Lord, and therefore to propagate the systematic transcendental knowledge of devotional service is the greatest mercy that one can show in this world. When everyone is taught to sacrifice 50% of his accumulated gold for Lord's service, certainly austerity, cleanliness, and mercy automatically ensue, and thus the last three legs of the personality of religion are automatically established. When there is sufficient austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness, naturally Mother Earth is completely satisfied, and there is very little chance for Kali to infiltrate the structure of human society.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 17, Text 43-44. Sa esha ethardi adyasta ashanam partivochitam pitameha nopanyastam rajnaranyam vivikshata aste dunasa rajarshi kauravendra sriyolasen gajahve vahe महाभागा चक्रवर्ती वृचा चक्रवाह सह ही esha this ithar he at the present adyaste is ruling over ashanam the throne parthiva uchitam just befitting a king pitamahena by the grandfather upanyastam being handed over rajna by the king aranyam forest vivikshata desiring aste is there adhuna at present saha that Raja Rishi, the sage amongst the kings, Kaurava Indra, the chief amongst the Kuru kings, Shriya, glories, Ullasan, spreading, Gajahvahe in Hastinapura, Mahabhaga, the most fortunate, Chakravarti, the emperor, Brihad Sravaha, highly famous translation by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The most fortunate emperor Maharaja Parikshit, who was entrusted with the kingdom of Hastinapura by Maharaja Yudhishthira when he decided to retire to the forest, is now ruling the world with great success due to his being glorified with the deeds of the kings of the Kuru dynasty. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The prolonged sacrificial ceremonies undertaken with the sages of Naimisharanya were began shortly after the demise of Maharaja Parikshit. The sacrifice was to continue for 1000 years, and it is understood that in the beginning, some of the contemporaries of Baladeva, the elder brother of Lord Krishna, also visited the sacrificial place. According to some authorities, the present tense is also used to indicate the nearest margin of time from the past. In that sense, the present tense is applied to the reign of Maharaja Parikshit here. For a continuous fact, also present tense can be used. The principles of Maharaja Parikshit can still be continued, and human society can still be improved if there is determination by the authorities. We can still purge out from the state all the activities of immortality introduced by the personality of Kali if we are determined to take action like Maharaj Parikshit. He allotted some place for Kali, but in fact Kali could not find such places in the world at all, because Maharaj Parikshit was strictly vigilant to see that there are no places for gambling, drinking, prostitution, and animal slaughter. Modern administrators want to banish corruption from the state, but fools as they are, they do not know how to do it. They want to issue licenses for gambling houses, wine and other intoxicating drug houses, brothels, hotel prostitution, and cinema houses, and falsity in every dealing, even in their own, and they want at the same time to drive out corruption from the state. They want the kingdom of God without God consciousness. How can it be possible to adjust two contradictory matters? If we want to drive out corruption from the state, we must first of all organize society to accept the principles of religion, namely austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness. And to make the condition favorable, we must close all places of gambling, drinking, prostitution, and falsity. And there are some of the practical lessons from the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam.
Canto 1, Chapter 17, Text 45. इत्थं भूतानुभावो यं भीमन्युसुतो नपः यस्य पालतः चौडीमयूयं सत्ताय दीक्षितः. Synonyms: Itham Bhuta, being thus, Anubhava, experience, I am of this, Abhimanyu Sutaha, son of Abhimanyu, Napaha, the king, Yasya, whose, Palayataha, on account of his ruling, Shodim, on the earth, Yuyam, you all, Satraya, in performing sacrifices, Dikshitaha, initiated. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Maharaja Parikshit, the son of Abhimanyu, is so experienced that by dint of his expert administration and patronage, it has been possible for you to perform a sacrifice such as this. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The Brahmins and the Sannyasis are expert in the spiritual advancement of society, whereas the Kshatris or the administrators are expert in the material peace and prosperity of human society. Both of them are the pillars of all happiness, and therefore they are meant for full cooperation for common welfare. Maharaja Parikshit was experienced enough to drive away Kali from his field of activities and thereby making the state receptive to spiritual enlightenment. If the common people are not receptive, it is very difficult to impress upon them the necessity of spiritual enlightenment. Austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness, the basic principles of religion, prepare the ground for the reception of advancement and spiritual knowledge. And Maharaja Parikshit made this favorable condition possible. Thus, the rishis of Naimisharaya were able to perform the sacrifices for 1,000 years. In other words, without state support, no doctrines of philosophy or religious principles can progressively advance. There should be complete cooperation between the Brahmins and the Kshatriyas for this common good. Even of the Maharaja Ashoka, the same spirit was prevailing. Lord Buddha was sufficiently supported by King Ashoka, and thus his particular cult of knowledge was spread all over the world. Thus, in the Bhaktivedanta purports of the first canto, 17th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Punishment and Reward of Kali.
Canto 1, Chapter 18, Verse 1. Sudhavacha, Yo Vai Draun. Maharaj Parikshit cursed by a Brahmana boy. Verse 1. Sudhavacha, Yo Vai Drauni Astra Vipulshuto Namadur Udare Mrita Anugrahat Bhagavata Krishnaya Huda Karmana. Synonyms: Sudhavacha, Sri Sudha Goswami said, Yeah, one who, why certainly, Drauni Astra by the weapon of the son of Drona, Vipulshita burned by none ever, Matu of the mother, Udared in the womb, Mrita met his death, Anugrahat by the mercy, Bhagavata of the personality of Godhead, Krishnasya Krishna, Adbhuta Karmana of who acts wonderfully. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Sri Sudha Goswami said, due to the mercy of the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna who acts wonderfully, Maharaj Parikshit, though struck by the weapon of the son of Drona in his mother's womb, could not be burned. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The sages of Naimisharanya became struck with wonder after hearing about the wonderful administration of Maharaj Parikshit, especially in reference to his punishing the personality of Kali and making him completely unable to do any harm within the kingdom. Sudha Goswami was equally anxious to describe Maharaj Parikshit's wonderful birth and death, and this verse is stated by Sudha Goswami to increase the interest of the sages of Naimisharanya.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 18, Text 2. ब्रह्मकोपोतिथयस्तु तत्सक्कात् प्राणविप्लवात् न सम्मुनोरुभ्यभयात् भगवती अर्पितस्याः Brahmakopa, fury of a Brahmana. Utithat, caused by what was, too, but Takshakat, by the snake bird. Prana Viplavat, from dissolution of life. Na, never. Sammumoha, was overwhelmed. Urubhayat, great fear. Bhagavati, unto the personality of Godhead. Arpita, surrendered. Asaya, consciousness. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Furthermore, Maharaja Parikshit was always consciously surrendered to the personality of Godhead, and therefore he was neither afraid nor overwhelmed by fear due to a snake bird which was to bite him because of the fury of a Brahmana boy. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. A self-surrendered devotee of the Lord is called Narayana Parayana. Such a person is never afraid of any place or person, not even of death. For him, nothing is important as the Supreme Lord, and thus he gives equal importance to heaven and hell. He knows well that both heaven and hell are creations of the Lord, and similarly, life and death are different conditions of existence created by the Lord. But in all conditions and in all circumstances, remembrance of Narayana is essential. The Narayana Parayana practices this constantly. Maharaja Parikshit was such a pure devotee. He was wrongfully cursed by an inexperienced son of a Brahmana who was under the influence of Kali, and Maharaja Parikshit took this to be sent by Narayana. He knew that Narayana, Lord Krishna, had saved him when he was burned in the womb of his mother, and if he were to be killed by a snake bite, it would also take place by the will of the Lord. The devotee never goes against the will of the Lord. Anything sent by God is blessed by the blessing for the devotee. Therefore, Maharaj Parikshit was neither afraid nor bewildered by such things. That is the sign of a pure devotee of the Lord.
Canto 1, Chapter 18, Text 3. Uttashajya sarvada sangam vigyata jita samsthiti vyasaki jahov shishyo gangayam swam kalevam. Synonyms. Uttashajya, after leaving aside, sarvata, all around, sangam, association, vikyata, being understood, jita, one who is never conquered, the personality of Godhead, samsthiti, actual position, vaisakya, unto the son of Vyasa, Jahav, gave up, Sishya, as a disciple, Gangam, on the bank of Ganga, Swam, his own, Kalevaram, material body. Translation by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Furthermore, after leaving all his associates, the king surrendered himself as a disciple to the son of Vyasa, Sukdeva Goswami, and thus he was able to understand the actual position of the personality of Godhead, and at last gave up his material body on the bank of the Gangas. Purport by Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The word Ajita is significant here. The personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna, is known as Ajita or unconquerable, and he is so in every respect. No one can know his actual position. He is unconquerable by knowledge also. We have heard about his Dhamma or place, eternal Goloka Vrindavan. But there are many scholars who interpret this about in different ways. But by the grace of a spiritual master like Sukadeva Goswami, unto whom the king gave himself up as a most humble disciple, one who is able to understand the actual position of the Lord, his eternal abode, and his transcendental paraphernalia in that Dhamma or abode, knowing the transcendental position of the Lord and the transcendental method by which one can approach that transcendental Dhamma. The king was confident about his ultimate destination, and by knowing his, he could leave aside everything material, even his own body, without any difficulty of attachment. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is stated, Param Testva Nivartate. One can give up all connection with material attachments when one is able to see the param or the superior quality of things. From Bhagavad Gita, we understand the quality of the Lord's energy that is superior to the material quality of energy, and by the grace of a bona fide spiritual master like Sukadeva Goswami, It is quite possible to know everything of the superior energy of the Lord, and which the Lord manifests his eternal name, quality, pastimes, paraphernalia, and variegatedness. Unless one thoroughly understands the superior or eternal energy of the Lord, it is not possible to leave the material energy. However, one may theoretically speculate on the true nature of the absolute truth. By the grace of Lord Krishna, Maharaj Parikshit was able to receive the mercy of such a personality as Sukadeva Goswami, and thus he was able to know the actual position of the unconquerable Lord. It is very difficult to find the Lord from the Vedic literatures, but it is very easy to know him by the mercy of a liberated devotee like Sukadeva Goswami.
श्री गुरु चरण पद्मा केवल भगति सत्मा बंद मोहि सावधान माते कृष्ण प्राप्ति हो जहाँ होते, गुरुमुख पद्मा वाक्य चिते कोरिया क्या। आरना कुरी हो माने आशा, श्री गुरु चरणे रति हे से उतामा गति। ये प्रसाद पूरे सर्व आशा, चक्षुदान दिलो जय जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से, दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशितो, प्रेम भक्ति जहाँ होते अविद्या विनाश जाते, वेद गाय जहाँ चरितो, श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु आदम जनार बंधु, लोकेना लोकेरा जीवाना, आहा प्रभु को दया देहो मोरे पाद जया, ये जे जाखु त्रिभुवना, श्रील प्रभु पापतित पावना, प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा। गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा जय गुरुदेवा। विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद Sadi Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. The lotus feet of our spiritual master are the only way by which we can attain pure devotion service. I bow to his lotus feet with great awe and reverence. By his grace, one can cross the ocean of material suffering and obtain the mercy of Krishna. My only wish is to have my consciousness purified by the words of emanating from his lotus mouth. Attachment to his lotus feet is the perfection that fulfills all desires. He opens my darkened eyes and fills my heart with transcendental knowledge. He is my Lord of birth after birth. From his ecstatic prema emanates. By him, ignorance is destroyed. The Vedic scriptures sing of his character. Our spiritual master is the ocean of mercy, the friend of the poor, and the Lord and master of the devotees. O Longnath Goswami, O Master, be merciful unto me. Give me the shade of your lotus feet. Your fame is spread all over the three worlds.